Guys, and welcome back to my channel where we're about that Breaking Cycles life, and welcome back to another Let's Talk Tuesday. I hope you guys enjoyed last week's video on racism, and this week we're going to be jumping into another topic. As you can tell from the title, it's perfectionism. Guys, let me just give you a heads up. Exams are coming, and that means that I'll be taking like 4 weeks break just to focus on that. I'll still get the devotionals out on Sundays and Thursdays, but for the Let's Talk, I'll just give that a break since they are the longer videos. But yes, let's get into it. This is going to be part 1 and part 2 of perfectionism. So I'll just do 5 this week, and then I'll do 5 next week. So let's get into it. Right now, when we hear of perfectionism, of course, the first thing you're going to think about, okay, someone who always wants to be perfect, someone who never sees anything wrong with themselves, right? And if you thought that, you were correct, right? But this is not necessarily something we should aim for in society, because absolutely no one is perfect, right? So we are going to be discussing some points on how to basically combat that, and basically calm or put ourselves in a state of relaxation, that we don't have to always be constantly trying to put ourselves on a pedestal that absolutely no one else cares for you to reach, and just take your time and take things day by day, step by step, in regards to your life, right? So the first point you're going to be discussing today is become more aware of your tendencies. So what this is basically saying is become aware of the fact that you have the tendency, or you have perfectionist ways, and that is to, as I've always stated in my videos, do introspection. Look at yourself and be like, okay, am I constantly comparing myself to someone? Do I feel the need to always be better than someone? Is it a matter of every single time I encounter someone, I have to be in constant competition with them because I need to be better than them, or I need to just always be the best at anything I'm doing? I can't lose, I can't do anything wrong, because if I do, then my whole world is shattered, right? Become aware of these tendencies, and if it is that you're realizing that you have these tendencies, it is best to write them down. And I spoke about this in the Real You. I'll try to link it above, where I said state your weaknesses and state your strengths, right? So this would be a weakness. Write it down and be like, okay, why is it that I feel the need to always be doing this when it comes to myself, my achievement, my goals in life, or anything I desire, right? And becoming aware of it, guys, will help to start fixing the problem of perfectionism, because as I said, no one is perfect. So why would we put ourselves under that much pressure to uphold a certain standard when it is unattainable, right? Okay, so become aware of your tendencies. That is very key, and that's why it's number 1. If you're not aware of it, if you don't admit it, if you don't come to terms with the fact that you do these things, then basically the rest of points that I'm going to discuss are null and void, because you don't want to admit, that you have these tendencies. So it's best to become aware of your tendencies, right? And the next one is to combat perfectionism, guys, is to focus on the positives. I have definitely seen this in action. And let me just say, I have had times when I felt myself getting to the point of being a perfectionist. And I have realized that whenever I started to become like that, it was because I was only focusing on the negatives. Like, why is it that I can't do this? Why is it that I can't get this grade? Why is it that I can't finish this task? Why is it that everything seems to be going wrong? When I did step back from the situation and looked at the positives, I realized, oh, Shanique, you reached this goal in life, and you should be grateful. You should have an attitude of gratitude for the fact that you have accomplished this much so far, right? And that actually helped me. I'm not even lying. It actually helped me, of course, plus Jesus, to be like, I don't have to always be at the top of my class. I don't always have to be in. Yes, guys, I was a culprit for perfectionism in regards to my grades, and I honestly believe God definitely used that as his tool of humbling me, because when it came to my grades, I was always like, I've never been out of top 5 since I was born, right? I was always in top 5, always coming from first up to 5, right? And I started to dwindle a bit, and then especially when it came to math, guys, like, I used to teach people math, right? That's how much. And like the hardest of exams, you'd see that I'd still be getting top grades. So when I went to actuarial science, like at UWI, if you're Jamaican, you know UWI, University of the West Indies, and I was just failing. That's not necessarily a very good thing for a perfectionist, because like, how does Shanique fail math, And it's not like I wasn't studying. I was studying and still failing. But the point I'm trying to get out of this is, guys, I needed to be aware of the fact that I placed such a great hold on my education. And then I started to realize, okay, I may not have gotten the best of grades, but at least I passed, right? I may not have had the best of anything that I aimed for, but at least I reached a certain point which was attainable. And I had to start looking at the positives whenever I encountered any of these issues. So that's what I'm trying to get to you. Focus on the positives, and please, I'm begging you, don't, as hard as it is, try to ignore the negatives when they come, and stop looking at yourself as, I'm not good enough because I can't do this. No, because then you're falling into the trap of perfectionism when everyone has their own lane. I have said this already. Everyone has their own lane, and everyone thrives in their own time, right? So focusing on the positives of yourself and your strengths makes you content with who you are and the achievements, the small and the great achievements you have made in life, right? So yeah, focus on the positives. The next one is allow yourself to make mistakes. This one is a hard one, especially for someone who likes to be in control, right? And I can testify from that because I I was like that. I can't say that I'm like that. No, I'm trying my very best with God's help to not be like that. No, to always be in control, right? I usually just now I'm like, let me just allow everything to just go as it is and just let things flow and stay in my own corner instead of trying to dominate wherever I am, right? So allow yourself to make mistakes. Whenever you're given a task, it's okay if you don't get it right the first time. It's okay if you don't get it right the second time. It's okay if you don't get it right the third time. Just keep pushing, just keep trying, because it's persistence that brings success, not getting it right the first time. It's persistence. It's being consistent and being persistent with the fact that you have a goal, you have a dream, right? And if you've ever listened to any success story, no one has ever said their life was super easy from the get-go, right? They have all said they had failed, and then one day they just started to see the fruits of their labor, right? So allow yourself to make mistakes, because again, no one's perfect, right? And the next one is set more reasonable goals. Yes, if you know that you can only climb 5 steps, don't try and climb 10 steps trying to prove everyone else wrong or right or whatever, or trying to please the world, right? If you know that your body can just go 5 steps, take your 5 steps and celebrate. Be proud of yourself. Tap yourself on the back and keep moving. And then the next day you can probably tackle another step, which would be 6 steps. Take your time and do things in a timely manner, and set your goals accordingly. Know what you want out of life and know that, okay, it won't come easy and I need to put in the work. And also, I need to make sure that the goals that I am making for my life, I can attain them, right? So stick with your goals and make sure that they're small, attainable, and then once you've attained the small goals, then you can start attaining the huge goals, right? Now, the last one for this week, because I'm going to do a part 2 for next week, is learn how to receive criticism. Now, this was a hard one for me because it calls for us to be humble. When someone looks at you and says, okay, you're doing this wrong, you need to improve in this area, you need to do this, you need to do that, it's not necessarily the easiest thing to accept criticism, but trust me, it is needed. And I love when people criticize me or give me feedback, I should say. Not necessarily criticize me in a negative way, put me down. That's not. You have good criticism and you have bad criticism. I welcome good criticism in my life, right? I like when people give me feedback. I like when they tell me, okay, Shanique, you can improve in this area. Okay, I'll listen to you, because that means you have my best interest at heart, right? And I am not always right. So I like to say, okay, where can I improve myself? And as much as my friends may say it's hard to argue with me, but I am a person that When your point is valid, I will listen to you, right? If it's not, then I'm sorry. But um, receiving criticism is very crucial to combating perfectionism, because the fact that it says perfectionism means, okay, you're thinking that you can never do anything wrong, and that means absolutely no one can talk to you, absolutely no one can tell you, okay, you need to do this, you need to do that. These are the people in society that we don't want to talk to, right? It's not necessarily the easiest to talk to those people when they think absolutely nothing is wrong with them. But guys, if you want to overcome perfectionism, or you see someone that you're like, okay, I really would like this person to, overcome perfectionism, the best key, one of the best keys, because if they are aware and they're trying to work on it, which would be a great start, is to learn how to properly give and properly receive criticism. And when the criticism is received, guys, it means that we're supposed to improve ourselves, because we are constantly evolving, right? We cannot be stagnant, because stagnant water becomes stink, right? And we need to constantly be flowing, constantly be improving ourselves to create a better version of ourselves, right? And break cycles. So yeah, that is part 1, and we are going to be continuing with perfectionism next week, and I will do part 2 with the last 5 points, and then I will be taking a break for exams, guys, just giving you a heads up 2 weeks in advance. Yes, and I'll get back to you guys in July after these exams are passed. Okay, so I hope these tips were useful, and I will see you next week. Bye bye.